Yo, what's good, family? This your boy, Mr. Check My Resume. I'm here to drop on your watch list for the month of November, as well as give you my weekly watch list per usual. You know, I'm bringing that fire. You know how I'm coming. So let's get right into it. First on my list this week, I got XLP stock, Procter and Gamble. I'm looking at, let me pull it up here on my chart. I'm looking at a 212 on the week. We got a level of 143.68 for this to trigger entry on Procter and Gamble. You know, first off for me, I like the 212 on the week, and then also if you look at the monthly area, you've got a 322 on the month above 144.67 or 87, excuse me, there on Procter and Gamble. Definitely like the setup there. If we get action out of XLP, then I think we'll get the movement and the triggers that we like there. Moving on to the next one, I'm going into XLY, consumer discretionary. I actually got a few stocks in XLY that I think potentially have the setups to go off this week. And I'll start with Amazon. You know, and here on Amazon, I see the weekly continuation potentially, which would give us a 3-2 continuation on the week with Amazon. And then additionally, what I really liked was the potential 2-2 rev on the month right here above 34.79 even. And then if you want to take a short-term day trade or something along those lines, there's the 2-2 reversal on the day above 33.74.82. So definitely like to set up here on Amazon. Typically in our Discord group with the Alpha Pack, I post contracts that can match up with what I'm seeing here on the chart. So typically I'll give out contract, you know, thoughts that I have in terms of what I'm looking at and potential contracts that I would take if those trades triggered for me. So moving on to the next one here on my list, I have Airbnb. And here on Airbnb, we got a few different looks here. We've got an inside day that we had on Friday. The thought here and also concern around Airbnb is that we've got a few different levels of, we have a few different broad formations sitting here above Airbnb at this level. And so just wanted to be mindful of that as I look into this trade. But we see here, we've got a 2-2 on the day, 2-2 potentially on the week, as well as continuation potentially, or actually a 2-2 on the month as well. And our level for the month is 176.75. Additionally, we're looking at a 2-1-2 on the week above 172.65. And if you like the earlier entries, you can go with the daily entry of 171.39. That will definitely give you an earlier entry on that one. So now moving on to the next stock on my list here, we're going to get to eBay, another XLY. As I mentioned, I had a few that out of this sector that I thought could possibly go. And again, if you know me and the typical trades that I take, eBay is one that I like as well. I'm going to clear this off where you can't see nothing what's going on there. So with eBay, we're looking at a 3-2-2 potentially on the week above 81.06. Also, we had an outside month on eBay. So we're looking for a continuation on the month as well as continuation on the day, as well as the 4 hours. So definitely liking the setup here on eBay. I particularly like to focus on the weekly triggers for my trade because I'm more of an intermediate swing trader, except for 0 days. So next one here on my list, let's keep it rolling. We are moving on into XLI industrials. And I only have one ticker here in industrials, and that is CCL. That is Carnival Cruise Lines. With this one here, I see a few different potentials here. As you can see, I have some price levels, you know, plotted out. So I'm looking at long-term as well as short, but we see a 2-2 rev potentially on the week here, the bottom left of my screen. And then also we have a potential 2-2 rev on the month, which we'll need to do a little work to cross that level. So I'm really focused on the weekly trigger here. And then also, if some folks they like to day trade or take earlier entries, there is a potential Chicago 312 entry right here above. Let me give you your level right here above 22.18. So definitely like the way CCL setting up. Typically, that would mean some of the others are setting up, but I really like the look of this setup for CCL. So now moving on to the next one on my list. Moving on here, we have Fubo. Right here on Fubo. So this is one definitely been trying to catch, and this one here has an inside week that we had last week. So what we're looking at on Fubo is a potential 212. Your level for entry above Fubo would be $30.53. I think we have like, we don't have far to go for that 75 cents or so. So we may have a few percents on the underlying we'll need to move. However, once we take that level, I feel we're going to move upwards. We have a potential continuation on the month, which will give us a 3-2 continuation on the month. And then I see us going back to this level of 33.68, and potentially 35.09. And if we get really good action, 43.28. So definitely looking, like the way these set up here on Fubo, looking at a long-term play, maybe taking December monthlies around for this one here. So definitely like to look on Fubo. Next one, moving on. Let's go to Fuel Cell. All right, so here on Fuel Cell, if you know the setups that I like, I am seeing a 2-2 reversal on the week. Day reversed on Thursday, had continuation Friday, and we had a reversal on the month last month. So we're looking for continuation this month. So with Fuel Cell, looking for this 2-2 reversal above $8.06 for entry. And I like Fuel Cell actually, for a good while. So I actually think Fuel Cell could potentially go for a while. So just looking at a couple levels, you got $8.99 and $12.62 as potential levels. Looking for Fuel Cell to keep going there. So definitely like to set up on Fuel Cell. Not sure if there's anything additional to add on that one other than my trigger level of 806. Moving on to the next one, we have Mara. And with Mara, we're looking at continuation play here on Mara. We had an insight week last week. So we focus down here on the bottom left of my screen. You'll see the insight week. So we need entry above 55.29. So we got about a $3 move before entry here. So this isn't one you need to rush to get into. You can kind of take your time and watch it. As you can see, if you look at the 4 hour to my top left, there is a Chicago setup as well above 52.40. If you're convicted about getting in this trade, that may be an earlier level for you to enter. And then as well on the day, looks like we have, and on the day, looks like we have a potential 2-2 rev. And your level would be above 52.75. So you have potentially a good opportunity to take an early entry before this one triggers on the week. So keep your eye on Mara. That may be one potentially that you could get into prior to trigger. Next one on the list is Blink, and this will be the last of my weekly setups. Then I'll move into the longer term monthly flips. Since we're moving into a new month, new trading month, I want to give you some potential thoughts around plays for that timeline. So moving on here on Blink, we had an outside week last week on Blink, and we went essentially to the top of a broadening formation here. I am going to clear my screen off just so everyone can see a little better. So essentially with Blink, we have the outside week. I am looking for a continuation on the week. However, on the month candle, as you can see down here, we had a 2 down hammer. So I am looking at continuation, actually reversal, sorry. And your level for reversal is 31.85. So definitely keep your eye on Blink for a reversal there. And you can see you've got levels of 34.66 to 37.46. So definitely think Blink can really move, but you just need to buy yourself some time. You can't expect these trades just to go straight up. So next one. Now we're going to get into the monthly setup for the month of November. And essentially with these trades here, these do not have micro level entry or triggers. A couple of them may have some, but the thought process here is that we're looking at these particular stocks to flip on the month, which would give you a reversal on the monthly time frame, which would trigger potentially some longer term trades for you to enter. So first one on my list for that, let's get into Dropbox. So if you look down here to my bottom right, you see Dropbox had a 2 down on the month, but also it was a hammer. So what we're looking at for Dropbox is a reversal on the month above 31.30, which will give you a 2-2 rev on the month back to the upside. And then the next level or next target there is 32.59, then $33 even. Then we're looking at, pushing up, like pushing towards 35. But not to get ahead of ourselves, we got to get this reversal here on the month. It's a good sign seeing the broad information. So moving to our next one, we have Chewy. Really like to set up on Chewy. A few of our pack members from the Alpha Pack actually took this Chewy trade last week and really made out like bandits. They did very well. So it definitely put it on my radar. And as you can see from the weekly chart down here to the bottom left, there was a good bit of action last week with Chewy. So there was definitely good opportunities there. What I also noticed while looking at this last week was that we had the hammer on the month on the 2 down. So that's definitely something that for me is like, okay, we got an opportunity here. So so this is essentially what my thought process is. We get the reversal above 76.35. We have nice magnitude here back to 89.05 as the first target on the month level. So definitely like the way Chewy sets up, thinking December contracts for sure. If you want a shorter move, then sure, take a November monthly, but definitely looking at December monthlies on this one. Very, very, very good looking hammer there on Chewy. Next one on my list. With these, definitely get time. We're not looking at anything within the next couple of weeks. These aren't the thought processes with these. Next one is Caterpillar, CAT. First thing I noticed here in Caterpillar was the reversal on the week and continuation ever since. And then next thing I saw that we had an inside week. So what we had was a 2 down, then an inside month. So what we're looking for is a 2-1 and then 2 back to the upside on Caterpillar. So what essentially right here, I want to see I want to see price go above 209.75 would be my trigger level for entry on a long trade. Let me clear my screen here so you can see. So then essentially if I get the 2 up at that level, then I'm looking for this to be my first target, which is 212.95 and 223.76. And then, if we're really rolling, then sure, we could think about that top level target. But these are my targets looking at it on the month. Obviously, if you go down to smaller time frames, you'll find other targets that are in between those levels that I have pointed out here, but I'm just focusing on the month right now. So definitely like to set up on Caterpillar. I think as well with the infrastructure, bill and infrastructure, bill and money coming in, Caterpillar will be a beneficiary of the activity and the amount of commerce and transactions that occur in the work that's needed because of it. So definitely keep Caterpillar on your list and something to keep in mind as you're looking forward into the next year, as well as new opportunities or longer term plays to watch out for. Next one, I'm moving over to XLK. So I'm looking at Apple. And this is one I typically, I don't play very often. I don't have anything against Apple. It just hasn't behaved the same way as it has. It hasn't behaved the same way recently as it did in the past. So just hasn't been the same Apple to me. So I just haven't really invested much time. And I honestly prefer less volatile stocks, and I think Apple's trying to go that direction to be less of a volatile stock. However, let's get into the setups here on Apple. First thing I see is the 2-2 rev on the day, and that's above 149.94. However, I'm not looking to take this short. I'm still focused on the monthly level of 153.17, which is where this the high of this candle is. So if I were to take this trade, I'm really only looking to get in contracts at a cheaper price at a lower level, but I'm still focused on this trigger here as the entry point. So even if I take an early entry, sure, you'll be able to get in that trade a little bit cheaper, and that would be like my primary objective. I don't know if I would take weekly contracts there. Day trades may be okay. I mean, but for the purposes of this video, we're looking at a longer term flip on Apple. Moving on to the next one, like the setup. I think Apple you could push up to the 160 level and then be rejected again. But next one I have is Qualcomm. Again, Qualcomm did a reversal on the week a few weeks ago, and it has shown continuation each week thus after. So what I'm looking at here on Qualcomm is a couple different things. Obviously, for the shorter term, I see a few different entry points on the 4-hour and the day. You see the hammer on the 4-hour, the 212 above 133.15, and also a 212 on the day. Let me zoom in here. Uh, 212 on the day above 133.68 for the daily level entry. So there are potentially earlier entries you could get in on Qualcomm, but again, I'm focused on the monthly hammer here, and the fact that we're sitting on the top of a broadening formation. 133.83 would be my level for entry on Qualcomm for the long plays. But however, as you can see, there's earlier entries if you wanted to get in at a cheaper price. I would still focus on the long contracts, not the weeklies or anything like that. Moving on, next one on the list, and then we only got one more after this one. This one here is an XLP stock, and shout out to the Coke boys in the Alpha Pack Trading Group. That is an inside joke. Our Coke boys, they've been playing Coca-Cola and really killing it. Shout out to that boy, Boss Game VIP. So what we have here on Coca-Cola, KO, it's a ticker here, as you can see. First thing I noticed is this 4-hour setup, 212 on the 4-hour, above 56.45. People will be tempted to take that for a weekly contract, which may not be a bad idea, but I like the long setup here. And then also we saw what kind of week it had last week. We had a lot of members in this trade on Coca-Cola. Definitely one that has been very good to the group over the course of time. And then additionally, what I'm focused on here, is the monthly flip here on the level of 56.47 for Coke. That will give us a 2-2 rev on the month, and I think that will give us the the force we need to get back over the $60 level, or get over the $60 level, which is kind of where my target would be on a longer term trade. And again, with these XLP stocks, they don't need to move very far for there to be a lot of movement on the contracts. So keep that in mind. The relativity of price is different with these longer term stocks, or like the younger folks say, the old folks stocks, old people stocks. So next one and last one on my list for my monthly reversals would be for the month of November 2021 is US Steel. And this one here is another popular stock of the Alpha Pack Trading Group. And again, we had a reversal on the week on X, and we're looking at continuation on the weekly level. We do have a 4-hour setup, but it's not one that I'm going to take on it. And then also on the daily level, again, we gapped up and then we went over a broadening formation on Friday. And so what's happened is prices just hung up right there. So what you're going to see, hopefully we get continuation tomorrow, and it holds that level and we get continuation. However, there could be potential sideways movement for a few days to claim that level and move up away from it. So don't be concerned with that. Just know where X is going. And I'm focused on the monthly level where you can get a flip, a 2-2 reversal above $27 flat on X. And that would be a 2-2 reversal and my entry point for X. But just keep this one in mind. It is fighting with a broadening formation. So just need to give it some time to claim that level and hold, and you should be good to go with X. So other than that, I am done with my list for this evening. I will expeditiously post these lists in the Alpha Pack Trading Group Discord so everyone there can have that. And until tomorrow, peace, man. Let's get this chicken tomorrow. Catch y'all later. Mr. Check My Resume, I'm out.